You'll have to excuse me guys if this is a bit shaky. Holding the phone with only one hand here, holding this beautiful Californian king snake with the hook, which obviously is in my other hand. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at this female because she actually produced 7 eggs for us this year, and those 7 eggs have hatched, and we're actually going to take a look at those baby king snakes. Um, it's a shame that I don't post videos of these guys more often. Don't know if you guys just saw that. Hopefully I caught it on camera, but king snakes have some of the most insane feeding responses in the snake world. She actually isn't as bad as the male that I'm going to show you guys here in a second. The male will actually bite himself and hold on for quite a while. But this is a great looking girl we have here. And they're small snakes, so you know, you could keep these guys typically in a 20-25 gallon, depending on whether you're working with a male or a female. This girl here is actually about 4 years old. And you guys could see that this bin right here, if I had to guesstimate, I would say it's about 2 inches, 24 inches, 2 feet long. So, but a great looking animal here, and obviously the contrast is crazy on these guys because they are black and white. So, I'm going to show you guys the male now, and then we'll take a look at the babies. Alright guys, so here's the male. He is definitely high white. You could see he basically doesn't have too much black on his sides, and he's just trying to look for food. This guy is starving right now. This guy, out of all the snakes I've ever had the pleasure of working with, has by far the craziest feed response that there is. He has tried to eat dustpans, he has tried to eat himself, and when we have some baby geckos that, you know, are born and they're a little bit misshapen or misformed, or if they really were born too small and there's no hope for them, or even stillborn geckos, or geckos that, I shouldn't say stillborn, but geckos that only make it halfway out of the egg and die. This guy basically eats those. So he's kind of a garbage disposal unit here at Safari Reptiles. And he'll try to eat anything really. I mean, I could just give an example here if I put this near his face. Well, now he's not too bad. Just wandering around. But you guys can see he's more of a cream colored, whereas the female has a little bit more white to her. But still a really nice looking snake nonetheless. So let's take a look at those babies now. Alright, so here's the first baby. I actually have a corn snake right here that hatched about, I would say, a week before this Californian king snake. And I just wanted to kind of give you guys a side-by-side size comparison. You can see these king snakes are born really big and really thick. I mean, this is our first clutch of king snakes, so I don't know if they always hatch out this big. I think it has a little bit to do with the fact that we bred our female when she was 4 years old rather than 18 months. So maybe that's why the eggs and the baby snakes were so big. So just move this little thing over here. So it's really cool to see the variety that we got in the clutch. I would say not one of the 7 babies looks the same, so that's kind of cool. And actually guys, stay tuned because within the next coming weeks we actually are getting a colubrid baby rack. So that's pretty exciting, and obviously it'll be very helpful to us because we still got rhino rats and cave dwelling rats on the way. Eggs incubating right now, due to hatch probably within a week. So let's take a look at this king snake right here. You can see this one's really cool. Has a ton of black on it, but also has that really cool striping down its back. And you could tell right here that this snake is going into blue, so it should shed pretty soon. Now, I had read online that you had to separate these guys as soon as they're born, or else there may be a chance that they would eat each other. And actually, when one of the reasons why it took us so long to pair our king snakes is because we felt that whenever we would pair them together, that one of us would have to be here to kind of watch them to make sure the female didn't eat the male. Well, thankfully that didn't happen, and we ended up with a bunch of cool looking little babies here. So that's the first one. Just put that there. So yeah, these are temporarily little enclosures until that snake rat comes in, probably within the next couple of days. So just make sure these are closed properly. This is basically how we housed all of our baby corn snakes last year, in these bins, in these delis. They're 6 inches. So because these snakes are so small and our room is heated to the right temperature for both king snakes and corn snakes, we're able to get away with this. Actually, a lot of corn breeders, they do this as well. But we do have the rack coming in, because a rack, believe it or not, will be way more better in terms of saving time, because you know, just to open these bins, change the substrate, takes some time. Whereas, you know, pulling bins out, super easy, goes by really fast. Also for cleaning purposes as well. So this one more or less looks like the last one we just saw. The white is a little bit less clean. You can see some of the black is bleeding over, but really cool looking baby nonetheless. And it's interesting to see how like calm these guys are right now. They're not trying to eat my fingers or anything like that. I'm wondering if after that first shed, they'll all of a sudden turn like into monsters. But this animal is pretty cool because it has like lateral striping as well, going down sides. So really nice looking snakes. I know I keep saying that, but it's weird because I told Joseph to sell that pair of Californian king snakes like years ago, and he was always like, oh no, I want to see if we can get something out of them, I want to see if we can get something out of them. And I'm actually quite happy that he kept them, because it's cool and it's interesting to hatch out different species. You know, sometimes even I get bored of ball pythons, so look at this one here. We got a lot of these striped ones, but I'm saving the really nice looking ones for the end here. But this one has that really cool like headband going on too. They all look quite a bit like Dad, to be honest with you. Now again, I don't know too much about king snakes, so I don't know like if you would classify some of these as high whites, some of these as really high whites, or what you would say. But again, got a little bit of everything in this clutch. Really cool to see these cookies and cream colored snakes. I love Oreos, so. Alright. So that's 3 of them down. This one here is like super high white. And I just broke the belly. Yeah, so you guys can see this one, the black is just really diffused on the sides, and on the top you almost have like these cool looking ink blotches. So, and again, it has that really cool headband. And yep, we had to have one nutcase in the bunch, so. But you can see this one is also gonna be going through its shed. Really easy to see, and I mean, they have really cool bellies. I actually didn't show you the bellies on the others, but really cool. And as I say that, this little guy or girl just takes a piss all over my hands, but what are you gonna do? I mean, that is just a really awesome looking snake. And these snakes are pretty bulletproof in my opinion. They don't require too much care. I would keep them exactly the way you would keep a corn snake. You could give them a little bit more heat than you would give a corn snake, and they'll probably appreciate that, but for the most part, if your room is warm enough, you don't even need a heat pad. 25 gallon, and you're done. The only thing is, like I said, crazy feed responses on these guys, so you know, if you're looking for an animal that's never gonna bite you, maybe don't go with a king snake, because they're just a really hungry animal. They're not doing it to be aggressive or to be mean like some other snakes. To me, these they aren't aggressive snakes or defensive. It was a little while ago, but somebody actually got mad at me because I said a snake was aggressive, and the person was like, no snake is aggressive, snakes are defensive. So these snakes aren't too defensive. If they look like they're on the offensive, it's just because they're hungry. They have insatiable appetites. So, but other than that, I mean, they make really good pets because they're just so easy to take care of. So this one, again, more or less looks like most of the ones we've seen before, and this one is also peeing on me. I found that the whole, like, you know, emptying their bowels type of deal is done quite often by Lamprey-Peltis, king snakes and milk snakes. So, you know, they're really nice looking, but you gotta deal with them shitting in your hands sometimes. And you know what, this video is kind of getting long. I don't know if it's the bottom one really cool. Yeah, the bottom one's kind of cool. This one here is completely striped. It has virtually no black on its sides. And this was one of the first to hatch, actually. So, super nice looking. I mean, just crazy. Really nice looking animals. And these guys will be made available probably after 4 meals. But I don't imagine it'll be too hard. I don't think it's that hard to get Californian king snakes started. I've heard that some of the other king snakes could be a little bit tricky. Sometimes you have to start by scenting with reptiles of some sort. I think people usually use gecko skins. But yeah, these guys will be available pretty soon, I would imagine. So follow us on the Facebook, Safari Reptiles, or I should say like us on Facebook, Safari Reptiles, but also make sure to follow us on there. You have to select the option to follow us so that you get our newsfeed updates, or else you will not see when we put reptiles available for sale, and you may miss out. And then the last king snake we have here is, you know, a pretty popular looking animal. To a lot of people, this is probably considered the perfect California king snake. This is, I mean, just about as close as you're going to get to a 50-50 California king snake. And the contrast on this little dude is incredible. He's the only one in the clutch that came out banded like this. But he's just so nice. I showed this to my girlfriend, and she was actually like, hey, kind of reminds me of, you know, the Nightmare Before Christmas, the thing living underneath the bed. Yeah. I think, was it that thing living underneath the bed? Or maybe it was the stairs. Who knows? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned because I have a lot of stuff coming up. We're only waiting on the 2 spider animals from the banana clutch to shed. And we have 3 clutches that pipped today. Pastel Mochi to Firefly. Looks like we hit some really cool stuff in there. We did a special to Mojave. We actually didn't hit on any crystals. We also did a super stripe to a pastel yellow belly, and it looks like we got 2 pastel super stripes. But it looks like these 2 are going to be much nicer than the one we got last year. And what else? Oh, I have a dinker project to probably share with you guys. We hatched out something pretty interesting. It's a ball python. It's not anything that's like crazy groundbreaking, but we think it's definitely something. There's something to it. It's very orangey, and the pattern is kind of different on it too. So stay tuned for those videos, guys, and take care.